The list of the politically leading men who would be killed through the hand of murder would be very long in the coming time, yet we may not change that. It is not our fault that all that would come out that way, because the earth human alone bears that guilt. We won no death and no murder, we won peace in this and all other universes. Unfortunately, this requires that we must influence leading powers of the earth to peace, using impulses, whereby, however, they would create deadly enemies, whereby, unfortunately, many good humans will die, which we really cannot, however, prevent. Unfortunately, we only have time until autumn of the year 1974 to prevent the destruction of the earth. Subsequently, our time is very tightly measured. Were our mission to fail, then this system-wide catastrophe will probably occur. But we have very good outlooks for the success of our mission, which is why we have prepared you for our target day since your birth. If we have fulfilled our mission to prevent the gruesome catastrophe, then your mission comes about shortly after that, in the year 1975, about which you will be yet further prepared until then. You should then emerge as truth bringer and truth announcer, respectively as prophet, and bring the earth humanity the knowledge about the true truth of the eternal absolutum. It will be your mission to clarify the actual truth of the creational spiritual matters for earth humanity, in order to bring them the path of peace, love, true knowledge and of wisdom and truth. But the time will pass very quickly for you because, at that point in time in which you will emerge, further dangerous things, which spring from the power-greedy forces, will already take their course. At that time, and also even later, it will be America, Russia and China, that very strongly push for enslaving world domination. So it will not be at a later point in time the Jewish Zionists, as many people presume, who sharpen their blood sword through mass murdering acts of violence and with the help of the Christian religion, to subjugate the earth, rather smaller powers and various malignant sects, whereby one such really malignant one leads back to a certain Ron Hubbard. In this regard they are already preparing the first decisive strikes in order to expand their power and to create dangerous country-controlling positions. The earth human should protect himself from providing any help to such power-greedy sects and rulers, because they cause the smallest help to become a deadly weapon against the helper, in order, therewith, to come closer, step by step, to the fulfillment of their addiction to world domination. Sectarianism is just as much aligned only with greed for money and power as certain holders of power are aligned with enslaving world domination. Sectarianism likewise serves, for its believers and followers, only as a means to an end, as is peculiar to every actual religion, every ideology, as well as every secret society which demands world domination, and every political ruler. Yet the time is not yet ripe enough to allow all these things to be known through you, therefore you are enjoined to silence until the time that I grant you permission to speak. The course of evolution has its track to take, and it may not be impeded in this track by a premature voicing of these facts of the future. Even if we do not like it, we cannot thus alter some future events and therefore incorrectly influence or disturb the course of history. Very great and world-revolutionizing events will emerge which are required to avert a global or solar system-wide catastrophe. Statesmen must be appointed who prepare certain things towards the prevention of the threatening catastrophe. But as is usual with the earth humans, many will inwardly and outwardly succumb to their greed for power, even if they will maybe not openly and understandably demonstrate it externally for their followers. As usual, they will have enemies and will be, in some cases, gotten rid of by them, who, not knowing that they thereby, and due to their own power, greed, and unreasonableness, will help to hinder the catastrophe. Thus their death-bringing intrigues and desires for power will be ultimately transformed toward good purposes. The list of these events will be very long, so I can only name some data for you which will be very important in the world events of the earth, even if, from the outside, they appear to be of only minor significance. Indeed, once again I must explain to you in this regard that you must keep absolutely silent about this up to the point in time when I will permit you to speak about it, which, at any rate, will first be 1975. Subsequently you must therefore still keep silent for a long time. The occurrences of the future must play out sequentially, and they are not be permitted to be impaired by some sort of wrong actions and things. The events of the future have to occur according to the determinations, as only in this way can a catastrophe be prevented. But be conscious that when I give you permission to speak, much later, after all the important events, your life will then be in danger through murderous attacks because you reveal very secret things. Those initiated in these intrigues will then endeavor to rob you of your life and kill you because you reveal their secrets. Therefore, beware, and at all times practice the greatest caution when the time for that comes. The most important events of the future, which I will now tell you, you should likewise write down later with my memory assistance. You should then secure the writings and keep them locked up to the extent that they are not accessible to anyone, except you, until the given point in time. With the events of the future being made known prematurely, the already prepared catastrophe would become unavoidable, and thereby the entire system of planets would certainly be destroyed. For these reasons, I will also first assist you to write down all my explanations in later years, namely then when the greatest danger has already been averted in regard to this. But even after that you still must keep everything most securely locked up, until I can give you permission to speak. Under all circumstances, obey my orders and never try to circumvent this order in any manner. So now, heed my words precisely and note the specific important dates so you can follow the coming events according to my statements and thereby gain verification about the truth of my prophecies. This is of significant importance for you. The ineluctable events of the future will be played out with such absolute exactness, as did also the events of the past, to which I want to explain to you that the events of the future will already begin in a short time, and indeed with the murder by poison of Joseph Stalin on March 5, 1953 in Russia, and indeed on the order of inter-party elements. The reason for the murder by poison will be Stalin's only little-known Zionist-friendly stance, which will now, during the following decades, be turned to worldwide Zionist animosity also through neo-Nazi elements. For these reasons, Nikita Sergeyevich Khrushchev, the next grandee of Russia to follow, will be forcefully removed in the year 1964. In order to set the last framework for the in no way justified Zionist animosity.